Welcome to Hyphenate Halftime. Today is Monday, January 6th. Mr. Aaron Farley, how do you do, sir?
I am doing well. I've just realized when you said January 6th that's a big day.
Yeah.
That's the 4-year
the
anniversary of so now we're in Washington DC, Randy and I. We have said the election is not valid.
No.
And it's just he and I.
Oh God.
And we will be storming the Capitol.
God
I have
damn.
a Vikings hat on, a Viking helmet, and I'm riding a really tall bike.
Well, I created a UFO that I'm going to land on the top of the White House.
Do you think that's what all these the drones? Isn't it weird though that they started as UFOs in New Jersey or wherever they were, and then everybody just started calling them drones without there being an official anything, and it just started being. Then they were just drones, and then slowly everyone went, "Well, I guess they're drones."
Meh.
Yeah, we don't need any explanation. I guess they're drones. You say they're drones enough times, they're just drones.
I mean, I feel like at this point we've been told that aliens are here, and it's not even that they're trying to keep them secret. It's like, if anything, I feel like the government's trying to get people more excited about it. Like, come on, guys, isn't it exciting?
Yeah,
isn't it cool? Hey, we'll fly some drones over New Jersey for a while. Would you guys care then? And I think people really just don't care. I think they're really over it.
I do think that that we think that we have very complex minds, but for the most part, for most things, our minds are very simple and get over things really quick. So like humans are created to move on. Like our brains are created to move on quickly from and this is why we are animals that can exist in this crazy world with a bunch of crazy apes,
giant whales the size of school buses.
But I mean, just like us being like these apes in the ape family, but very intelligent and smart and whatever. But also we move on very quickly. Like, have you ever told something? I mean, we'll stay in dad mode. That with kids when they're really little, if you told a 4-year-old, hey, they found out aliens are real, they would go, okay,
can we see them?
What's for dinner?
Do they want to play Minecraft?
Yeah, they wouldn't. It wouldn't even
Fortnite. What does that mean for me? Yeah. Well, that's really what it is. What does it mean for me? I mean, I think there's a lot into it all, the whole thing, But even the idea that people aren't really that excited, that might be a plant of a message as well. You know what I mean? If they don't want people to get too riled up, you just be like, hey, everybody, no, the aliens are real. No one really cares. If you say that enough, you create that discourse, then that becomes the thing. I'm willing to be like, all right, if nobody cares, then I don't care. And so it's a soft pedal on it, and they just go, well, they just keep giving more and more stuff. Yeah, but nobody cares, right? You're like, I don't know.
I guess.
Does it affect me? Do I get more money off in taxes?
Who's nobody? Do you even have proof that people in New Jersey exist?
Does New Jersey even exist?
I mean, I have a couple of friends in New Jersey.
If you're in New Jersey listening to this and you actually exist, please write us at hyphenate halftime at gmail.com. Let us know that you actually exist.
But it could be
from
you're
not aliens.
New Jersey AI.
What?
We're not there.
We're not there. I'm not in New Jersey. I don't know. I've heard of New Jersey.
I know. I've been
People
there.
told me I drove through it. I went to the Perth Amboy truck stop.
Okay. I know that it
existed. Panda Express there.
It existed when I was there. But right now, I don't know.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Oh
I mean,
God. It's like all the other stuff that's going on in the world and the billions of dollars that are being sent around to places and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what does that mean? Oh no, it's just it's $8 billion being sent to this country. Okay, where'd you get that? I don't know. We just had it.
We added it to the debt. We added, yeah. No,
what's the debt? I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like what people owe us, but then we owe it's what we owe other countries, but then other countries owe us some stuff too, and there's a lot of trading going on, and there's militaries everywhere, but guess what? There's these UFOs. Sorry, UAPs. Oh, never mind. They're drones.
I'm in.
Who's flying them?
Don't worry about it.
Are you asking so many stupid questions?
Yeah.
A drone pilot, stupid. Which drone pilot?
The ones.
You don't know? All right. Whatever.
It's cool.
This gets back to your conversation with Justin when you were talking about not knowing how to be in a band. And showing up with like baggy Levi's on, and someone just going, "You should probably get tighter pants." And you're like, "Oh, that's what it takes? That's step one?" Yeah, step one is tighter pants, my friend. And then you get
for the
tighter pants.
Yeah.
But that's all you needed to know.
Yeah.
And this is like the aliens. It's like, listen, just know that they're drones. Oh, that's all I need to know? Yeah, you'll be fine. They're drones. Next step, we'll tell you the next step later. Yeah. But for right now, they're drones. Who's flying them? That's not what you need to know right now. It's not going to help you. What's going to help you is that you know they're drones. And then eventually people will stop talking about it. You won't see it on the internet anymore. And the drone phase is over.
Yeah.
Like for 3 weeks, people were seeing lights and there was everywhere. It was everywhere. And now I haven't had anything pop up, and I haven't gone, I didn't go out here to see if there were any drones over Los Angeles, and I can see all of Los Angeles and Orange County. And
maybe we chased them away with the New Year's fireworks.
Yeah. Or maybe I just don't even care that much. I'm like, hey, there's UFOs out there. I'm like, it's so cold. I don't know. Yeah. It's like, what is that? It's 9 minutes. It would be a 9-minute drive for me to go to the rim. It's called Rim of the World, right? I could drive to the rim of the world and see from almost to Palm Springs all the way to the ocean. And if there were UFOs out there, I'd be like,
oh, look at that.
All right, I guess so. I do need to hit the gas station on the way anyway. I need to fill up. I'll just hit that on the way.
Yeah, just go take a look every once in a while.
I don't know what I would do if I even saw one.
Try to take a picture. It doesn't look good on my phone. It looks blurry.
Yeah. I'd be like, I'm one of those guys where I'm like, I have all this camera equipment and I came to see a UFO and I didn't bring my camera. I just brought this stupid phone.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's, it's, I don't know. I don't know. I'm lost at this point. Once again, I totally had a thought and I'm gone. I'm done. It's New Year. They do it all. We were just talking. Yeah. The kids have been on break for too long.
I mean, let's be honest. We never thought 2025, like from all of our stories of being kids, when someone said, I remember being so surprised that the year 2000 actually happened. But because growing up, you're like, it's never going to be 2000.
Yeah. What would you have to say? 2001, 2002, 2003? That's crazy. When's it going to stop?
Yeah. And that was only a couple years after the actual movie of 2001 Space Odyssey was made. So you're like, it's so far away.
That's made up.
And then 2000 happening and going, it's the same as 1999. And then 2015 happens and you're like, there's no, when you get like a new debit card or whatever and it has the expiration date on it.
Yeah.
That's so far away.
Never going to happen.
You're like, are you kidding me?
2015?
This is 5 years from now. And then you hit the expiration date and you're like, what happened?
Oh my
God. I really had this little plastic card for 5 years? This is crazy. Where does time go?
Time's not real. Money's not real.
No, it's not. That's the best part about it.
But I liked catching up with my buddy Justin. I was curious to see how it would go over. If it was, he's not a celebrity in a larger sense of things.
He is now.
But I thought it was really, it would be interesting and kind of a little bit biographical, even with myself. Kind of help me remember some things. And I feel like this holiday season, I had like a kind of mini high school reunion. I went to my wife's high school reunion. And it's sort of that time you sort of run into people from your hometown, and there's sort of moments you're like, oh, right. Like there's a weird reaffirmation of like, oh yeah, I did grow up. I was a kid. Okay. Again, that kind of way of just checking in with yourself and like, is this real? Was I ever really a kid? And you see people who you were a kid with and now they're bald and have giant beards. And you're like, were we kids? Like I remember you as a young blonde child. I'm like, yeah, so were you. I'm like, oh right, we are not them anymore. We are old men.
It's real weird.
Yeah, if you look old, then I must be old. Oh shit.
Yeah, when you see people that are really old on TV, and then you find out they're younger than you,
31. You're like,
I know that happened to me just very recently. I saw something. I was like, someone posted a photo of somebody, and when your brain doesn't really connect who the person is yet or whatever, so you're just seeing kind of like the raw image of like an old guy. And then it clicks in and you realize who it is. And you're like, oh my God, that's my friend's younger brother.
What?
Do I look that old? I don't know. And then you're comparing and you're like, I can't do it. I'm fine. You know what? I'm fine. I'm moving on.
Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. Pay no attention to the man in the mirror. Doesn't matter.
Oh
my God.
I've gone past that point in my life where I was young. It doesn't exist anymore. My body tells me that every morning, and it sucks, but life goes on.
Yeah, well, I don't think I strive for youth or for any of those kinds of things. But just again, I think, but this is the same stuff my mom, who's in her 70s, says. She still thinks of herself as someone in her 20s, but there's just all these other signs that tell her that she's not. But I think I think that's continual. But I don't ever feel like, oh, I wish I was younger again. I feel like there's those things of like, what do you mean I'm not? It's the discrediting of like, what do you mean I'm not? Are you sure I'm not? I'm pretty sure I am. Yeah. I know the body's, I'm like an older body, but I know my brain's still there.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my God. Dude, sorry.
Go for it.
Well, I went to Permanent Records Roadhouse, this great venue here in Los Angeles. It's a record store and a bar.
Yep.
And I've played there several times with a few different bands and played solo. And I went to see a friend's band, the Sharp Pins, so it's Kai from Lifeguard, kind of 60s power pop band. Sounded awesome. It was really fun. I was glad to go out. But all the kids, and there were kids. It was young. It was like a young 20s sort of audience. And I was like, oh, right. That's I didn't feel like I was trying to fit in, but I was very aware that I did not. I'm old.
Yeah.
I'm talking to people, and they're all dressed cool, and they're really skinny. They're all like under, 100 pounds, and have like cool vintage clothes on, and they're all dressed like extras from the Monkees TV show. And I was like, you guys look awesome. This is cool. And I was like, I have very comfortable running shoes on that I've never run for one step in these shoes ever.
They're stepping shoes.
Yeah, there's a very like comfortable standing shoes. The shoes.
Yeah.
And
I have some of those.
Yeah, it was great. But I was going out for the night. I'm going to be standing at a show all night. I'm not going to wear uncomfortable vintage thrifted, loafers with like a cardboard and cement for soles. I want some giant
function
yoga
before
mats.
Fashion.
Yeah, some giant pillows to stand on for a while. But it was awesome. But it was really funny. And then I was going to the bathroom and I saw they had some pictures of bands who had played there. Like I think the photographer had taken pictures. And I looked up. I was like, "Who's that old guy? Like sitting? That's a cool guitar." And as I was staring at him more, I was like, "Oh shit, that's me. I fucking look old. Why do I look like that? Why do I look like that? I shouldn't be me. Oh no, does that mean I look like that?" Well, I got kind of depressed. But then I think I came back. I continued the thought experiment. I feel like I was in this tailspin of like, I feel out of place. I feel old hanging out with these kids. But I wasn't really hanging out. I went to see a show. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was trying to be like, "Who's doing shots, boys? Let's go." Where's the after party?
With the skateboard again.
Yeah. But then I thought more about it. I was like, you know what? I guess it's cool. I've done stuff in my life. It's not like I'm an old person who hasn't done anything. I think that's where the depression would fit in, or like the regrets of like, fuck, like, why did I never play a show? Here I am seeing these kids play show, and that's all I ever wanted to do my whole life was to play music, and I never had the balls to get up on stage and play. Like, at least I play, I've done something.
Oh yeah.
And and so I saw, but I was thinking more of the picture. I was like, and look, I mean, like, I'm cool. Not only did I play music, but I got a picture of me next to the bathroom. Like, if you're gonna go take a shit, or you got to look at me. You got to look at my dumb face. I wish it wasn't that picture, but hey, at least I'm on the wall. I made it something. There's some kind of like, dues were paid or some regard was given or something. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. At least that's flattering. But I was like, okay, I'm not gonna think about this anymore.
Well, if anybody ever said anything to you, you just silently point to the wall.
So go to the bathroom, and before you go into the bathroom, turn around. If you're waiting in line for the bathroom, you'll look on the wall. I'm that guy. I'm the guy on the wall.
Slowly shake your head from side to side, point to the wall, and walk away.
I'm all old man. No, but the other guy, the only person I really talked to, other than saying hi to Kai and Tom, his friend who's playing with, is I talked to the sound guy because he's Aaron Espinosa's friend. He's playing with Aaron Espinosa. He does sound there now, and I was like, oh yeah, and he has gray hair and he's aged appropriately for me to talk with. Yeah. Otherwise, I feel like I'm just there's that feeling of like hello. I didn't really feel like I don't know.
Yeah. You're like, what are you even going to say?
There's a level of invisibility, I think, that comes with age when you're in a crowd with people who are not your age. It's like you're a teacher. You're automatically the bus driver. And they'll have conversations right in front of you. You're like, they don't even exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not even aware of you.
That happened when I went to see our friend's son's band play. And I was like, oh, man, I don't even know. I guess I don't know how much tickets are or whatever. And I went to walk up and the lady just goes, oh, you're good.
Like you're the designated driver. You're like, yeah, Coke's on the house. Don't worry about
it.
You're old enough to belong here.
I was like, yeah, you're fine. We don't want your money. Listen,
your money's no good here, oldie.
You've obviously paid your dues. I don't even know why you're here. You don't look creepy.
Thanks for driving the kids that did pay. You're fine.
I'm sure you're taking one of these bands home to their houses later.
Yes. Thanks for loading the gear and equipment. We appreciate you letting you practice at your house.
I'm sure they're using your minivan.
Yes, you're right.
To bring the gear here. And I was like, oh, that is good. It happened twice, actually. We went to see them play out in was it maybe in Pomona? I don't remember.
No, where was it? What was it, a house? Or?
No, it was in Riverside. It was at it was at like a record store / venue. And cool. Again, with their, like, I just had a camera and I walked and she just was like, yeah. Like, oh, this is awesome. I love this AARP discount.
Yeah, the perks of having gray hair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
She's like, obviously, I hope you're not the cops, but
whatever. You're cool.
It's fine.
So where is your familiarity with video games? This is now the kicking off video game month. The interview with Justin Lancaster is our first video game related segment. I've done a few interviews now. Some of these are in the can, and I've learned that I know more than I thought I did.
Oh, really?
Games. I think so. I thought I was very naive, and then I was getting to talk to people. I'm like, oh wait, no, I kind of know video games. I don't know modern video games, but
I don't really know. I don't know video games because as a kid, we weren't allowed. Weren't allowed. My parents, I mean, kind of, I guess, during the Atari days, it was pre-Nintendo or Atari going into Nintendo, and my parents wouldn't get an Atari. But they did get like a Texas Instruments because it had like educational games.
Oh, sure.
But then we had our like Burger Time, which actually Burger Time is that
was educational game. That was the educational how to make a burger.
No, we still got games. The games that we got were not educational games at all. But for some reason, that having educational games, it became okay. But then I never knew how to play any of the Atari games because I couldn't get good at them. But then a couple of my friends had Atari, so then we just never hung out at my house.
Yeah.
We hung out at the friend's house, whoever had Atari. And then that went into Nintendo. And then, the couple kids that got Nintendo. And you had like, some of them had like, the Duck Hunt and the gun and, all that stuff. But that's kind of where it stopped for me. I never got into anything after that. Like, once things got to be 3D also, I just lost track of, like, our kids play like Fortnite and
you probably had a job
Minecraft.
By the time the 3D stuff happened, you were probably paying rent somewhere.
Oh yeah. And I'm not like a video, like if I play for more than, like I can play FIFA. I play the soccer game with our son mostly. And we'll play a couple games and then I'm like, okay, I'm done. I can't do this. And I played a couple games. Played Fortnite a couple times, but I can't do the 3D. I can't ever find out where I'm at, so I just get lost and then I get shot.
Yeah.
So I end up hiding behind a tree the whole time and waiting.
I'm good. And I'm good here. I'm just going to hang here.
I do well. I usually get like top 10 or 15 because I'm super good at hiding.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, go out to start fighting, and then the kids are like,
instantly dead.
No, you got to go. No. Why are you going left? Why are you going left? I'm like, I'm not going left. You're going left. Why? You need to turn right. Okay, now take out the whatever. And I'm like, you guys, I just hand over the controller.
It's too stressful.
I'm like,
my heart rate's going up. My blood pressure's going up.
But I was interested to hear what did you know about video games, or what did you find out?
Well, so I was kind of in that world now too, thinking of the contemporary stuff. Like, I don't know. The kids play. And again, I'm the same way too, where it's like, the second I go into any game with my kids, it's like I just get killed, and they're like, "Oh, well, you need to like jump and then hit and then do." I'm like, "Well, I don't know." And then so we do it again, and I'm trying all this things, and I still just die instantly. It's like,
well, you don't have the potion magic chair that flies through the portal.
Whatever I'm doing it wrong. It's just they can tell.
You kids are stupid. I'm leaving.
My reflexes, it's like that sound. If you can hear this, you're not over 40. Like, if you can play this game, that you're under 40. It's an instant like litmus test. Yeah. But just going back through and like, I think there was it's I'm 40, going to be 44 this year, and so it was part of that world. It was pre-internet sort of stuff where I think that whatever the home video game fad was huge. It was I was a kid and played all the things, but I just think there was a level of I don't know. Yeah, I didn't get very far with any of it. It always felt like I had to put in more time. Like, I didn't take it seriously, which is probably fine. Of all the things to not take seriously, it's fine. But it was fun until it wasn't fun anymore. I'm like, I don't know, because again, it's like depending on whatever the games were. But I think I was fairly obsessed and computer focused. Like most kids of that age, and I loved going to an arcade. Like, we'd go to Vegas at least once a year, and my dad would just give me the buckets of quarters from the slot machine, and you could go to an arcade. Like all the casinos had arcades for the kids. So you just park your kids in the arcade while you went out and blew money and got drunk or whatever. And so I had fun with all that. Like, those were fond memories. Yeah, playing remember the Top Gun game? Or Afterburner. That's what it was, Afterburner. Yes. When you sat in and it was moved around. It was like a sitting one. You flew and it moved. Amazing. Loved it. Favorite game. Street Fighter 2, I was right in the pocket for that. It was 5th grade. Yeah. Loved it. It was great.
Yeah. Finish him.
That was Mortal Kombat.
That's Mortal Kombat.
See, I know enough to know that's Mortal, you know what I mean? That was those were kind of the fatality.
Yeah.
No.
I played a little Mortal Kombat.
Street Fighter 2 was the Hadouken, Tiger Uppercut.
Right. Oh my god.
Unto fire. I don't know. This is probably all racist. I don't know if I should be saying this.
You're like, wait a second.
I'm not going to get canceled for saying, what did I just say? It was the sound of my youth. The video game sounds. Hadouken. Oh my god, yeah, but it's fun. But my kids have those games too. Like, when we first bought the Switch, like, what game should we get? I was like, I gotta get Street Fighter 2. Like, I knew that wasn't their world, but I was like, I want to play Street Fighter 2 with you guys. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
kick your ass and put you in a corner and cheese you till you die. Dad, I'm like, it's called cheesing. You're like, don't cheese me, bro.
And they're like, ugh, parents in your language, all your weird words.
Skibidi toilet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun. But yeah, man, I can't. I'm obviously out of touch with whatever the last 30 years of video games have been. but it's cool. I appreciate that there's that kind of creative crossover. I think a lot of people, especially some of the upcoming guests for the rest of this month, like, kind of started life out in music, and then we're able to find a whole other world. And I think these video games are far more popular than any other form of entertainment than I deal with. It's like whatever movies or TV shows you could watch. Like, there's the video games just have 10,000, or 10 million more, people playing them than anything that's being watched. So it's cool. It's interesting. I can appreciate it, which I want to respect it, I guess, as this like mammoth cultural, like a, I don't know, piece of our contemporary culture that I'm just kind of mostly blind to. And I think part of that's just from age or interest and things, but it's like, no, this thing is it's a black hole. It's going to eat up all entertainment and all sort of culture, I think, in one way or another.
Yeah. And it is creative. I mean, it's like, even when our kids are playing, I mean, the cool thing now is that you're actually playing with people. So even the most simple games, like they'll get on,
there's some type of
our
social,
kids just play
for better
with their
or worse,
cousins all the time, that are all across.
Or people who say they're your cousins, but are really, 50-year-old men live in their basement too.
That's a different name than your cousin. What? Said to my.
Well, he's coming over next week. He's going to knock on my door 3 times. I'm going to knock on my window 3 times.
That's the other side of it. But they do play with, it's like they have their like little friend group, and they play whatever, Fortnite or FIFA or whatever they're playing, and the whole time they just have their microphones on, and you hear everybody yelling and like, oh my god, and it really is like they're in the same room, in a way. And also, I think we've talked about this before, but like, why don't you go to your friend's house? Like, well, what am I going to do, bring my computer and my we can't play any of these games unless we all have our own compute, like Xbox or whatever. And so, which is true. So yeah, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I know. Well, again, the positive and negatives of it, you know what I mean? Where it's like post-pandemic, I think that, that obviously just showed the world can be very divided and still function, if not thrive in some ways, especially with the younger kids, like doing, learning from school. Or not that the learning was so great, but at least they socialized online. That seemed to actually serve some purpose, met some kind of socialized goal where at least they're talking to somebody at some point of the day.
Yeah, totally.
So maintaining
not necessarily looking into each other's eyes, which might be a little weird for their brains functioning.
But do they even look at each other's eyes when they're in person?
Well, like not anymore. I don't think so. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. School is big groups of kids seem to be very similar to what they used to be.
Yeah, I don't think I had a huge downfall. But again, even like this, I'd be like, we do the podcast remotely, and it's like, okay, this works. This is a social relationship. Goes out.
This would not have happened years ago. It would have been very difficult to do. Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not trying not to be catastrophizing of all the things, but it is cool. It is cool. I'm interested. I feel like it was the thing too, where it's like this, kicking off the 2025 year with diversionary tactics. Like, what are the things you could do to not look at the world around you? Like video games. Yeah, that's a good way to not pay attention to what's happening. Totally. Just get lost in some other kind of fantasy world. Like, hey, did you know I'm an orc? Cool. Dungeons and Dragons will be the next theme month.
Oh, like, yeah.
What else can you get lost in without having to pay attention to the garbage in the news?
I mean, yeah, all that stuff they've been trying. I don't know. They tried to kind of bring back Dungeons and Dragons. Did it work?
My 11-year-old is digging it. I don't understand. Yeah, I've been struggling to keep up or sort of find a place in it all. But we've put in some time. He just had a buddy. He had a buddy come over today. They played Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
Okay.
But it sort of just seems like one guy telling a story to another guy. I'm not quite.
Yeah, and then you roll dice, and
I guess
see if that person killed, if their hit points were.
But I just can't
valid enough.
I can't get over the fact that I feel like it's just one guy making everything up.
Yeah.
Maybe that's fine. I guess that's maybe what a movie is. That's what a book is. But
I mean, someone's got to be the dungeon master. That was always my thing too, which is funny because that's the age that I played Dungeons and Dragons, but not for long, for 11, 12, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing for me. I was just listening. My friend would make up the stories and go on these adventures, and he would be reading out of these books. And I'm like, where's this? I feel like you're just taking all my points.
Why do I keep losing?
This is
everything?
Really hard for me, but you seem to be getting all the points.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's not like you're really following like, oh, tough luck this time. Looks like the spiders laid eggs in your brain and you're down. Well, roll for charisma. Nope. You suck. Sorry, you died.
Well, your wizard brain is not going to be able to attach. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I think is I'm trying to struggle with too a little bit in like my thinking my own biography in regards to like video games is I think in my quick recollection of it, it was like, oh yeah, there was like video games and comic books, and then there was like puberty, and then there was like music and skateboarding.
Oh, right.
You know, like it was like, was there some kind of like hormonal like change or some kind of like, and not to say that people that still that's not to say, you know, but I feel like that's a judgmental sort of view on it, you know, but because it's not to say like if you are into video games and comic books that you're not into girls, but I think there was in my brain, I just got to think of my own life. I'm like, I kind of think that's how it happened. And it was like, or maybe it wasn't even girls so much as it became music and then skateboarding.
Well, and you probably
sort of
just
changed.
felt like you needed to get out of the house a little bit. Like I need to go see what's going on out here.
Yeah,
I know I felt that way too. And I think for me, it was skateboarding and not music at that point, but it was like hanging out, like going places and hanging out places.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah,
being like
going to the mall or something. I think that's a lot of skateboarding was like social, if not like actually skill sets. It's like, cool, we're all gonna like go meet up at this place, you know,
totally.
and go skate over here, go skate over there, do something.
Yep, skate and ride bikes and do all that kind of stuff was like more to just get out of the house and do stuff than it was
right
to actually get
meet up with your buddies
all
and try
we
to
were
get
trying to get better.
Yeah,
at like skateboarding, but none of us were getting
that much better. But you spent a lot of time and had jokes and laughed at each other.
A lot of time. Yeah.
No, and I think even like the time I then spent at home instead of reading or doing the, you know, I was playing guitar. I was just badly playing guitar in my bedroom for hours a day. And slowly, very, very slowly, you know, figured out one or two chords or, you know, something like that, figured out a little bit of that. But then whatever, you know, I'm just practicing being bad for a long time. And then eventually that became kind of social too. Like, oh, I should go play badly with friends who also play badly. We can all play badly together.
Totally.
You know, we can all suck as a group rather than on our own. And then I go back and practice some more and then bring it in.
Until college.
Yeah. But it's still, I think that took up time. And I think there's somehow, it was that kind of thing. But I guess I see it kind of being a dick statement of being like, well, I don't know, I grew out of it. You know, but if I had to say, but it's, again, not like I'm a particularly mature person with non-childish interests. You know, I think if anything, I have a lot of suspended adolescence, you know, into other things. Still to this point in my life, you know what I mean? It's not this like I'm this learned, mature wizard of some proportion, but it's, I don't know. I guess you just pick and choose your poisons, I think, to some regard.
Well, and I think that a lot of people did have, I mean, we grew up with that, like, well, don't waste your time sitting around playing video games all day. Like that became like some kind of, like really social thing to do, where really now video games and also back then it wasn't really antisocial because kids would lug their whole computers over to each other's houses and set up huge things and tournaments and play video games, or even when we were playing like Mario Brothers or whatever, there would always be like 10 people there. And you jump on like, okay, you lose.
All right, you're next. I'm out.
It never like there was always something else going on. I feel like you'd play video games and then you'd do something else and then you'd get lunch and then you'd eat lunch and someone else would be playing some video game and you'd blow on the cartridge because it wouldn't work.
Right.
And,
yeah.
You know, like all of those things. It wasn't like you were most of the time just sitting in your room doing it by yourself. Like that like we were saying before, like the video game house became the place where everybody would hang out because you'd bring your cool cartridges over and like everyone would bring like, oh, you got your package of 10 cartridges and you'd bring them over. And so it really wasn't that much of a social thing. I do know that the people that were really into video games in college also smoked a ton of weed.
There definitely by
And
college I was hard out on video games only
yeah,
because money. You know what I mean? There was no money. Like a video
yeah.
game would like it was I don't know, whatever they cost. The whole
Also,
thing
they
of
were
having
all
to
so
maintain
good
it
at
and get it in.
Like Mortal Kombat that you'd go like, "Oh, I'm gonna play it," and you're like, "Oh,
Like,
this is a this is like all of a sudden you're playing against LeBron in basketball, and you're like, "Well,
yeah,
I just wanted to take a couple free throws or kind of do a couple layups," and they're like, "Nope,
but you get to that
it's not
age.
happening."
Yeah, yeah. And it's like that was the other thing too. Like they'd been playing nonstop for an extra 8 years on you. We're like, I
Oh
kind of
yeah,
played, and it was definitely I was just out of my league by those teams. At those
yeah.
times,
They're like, "What
like
about the?"
into my 20s, I was like, I can't play video games with anybody who's
Yeah,
still my age because I suck.
and they're like, "Go get this stuff ready for us to do gravity bongs." And you're like, "I'm all right. I'm out because I'm not doing that either."
I'm not doing
And
gravity bongs. I'm not
you know
playing
what?
Mortal
I'm just
Kombat
gonna. I
on
gotta
the
go
hard
find.
level.
I'm gonna go paint
I'm gonna go take a picture of
draw
something.
or
I
take a
think
picture
there's
of
a tree
something.
out there that needs a picture taken of it.
Yeah,
I'll
I
be
gotta
right
get
back.
out of here. I'm gonna do some nature photography because I'm really uncomfortable
Oh
right
my
now.
god. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so funny,
But I
man.
guess it's all there's all kinds of form of nerdery. I mean, I was like I loved sci-fi and and Star Wars even then, and then more so I think as time went on, I was like, I felt like I could be a little bit more open about that. It was kind of a secret,
Yeah,
sort of thing. At the time, we're like, this is actually fun. Okay, this isn't so dumb.
yeah,
And then movies and stuff. You know what I mean? I think I spend way too long watching old movies or just whatever bad movies. But that seemed more fun than playing a video game. But I can see how there's an argument against that too. It's like, you're just sitting there watching
yeah.
some movie that came
Passive.
out 40 years ago.
Yeah,
What's the point of that? Like, I don't know.
I'm trying to jump over all these mushrooms, bro. What are you doing? You
Yeah,
just sitting there watching Casablanca all day?
yeah. Did you read a book? First I read a book about the movie, and then I watched the movie, and then I'm going to go read some more books about the director, and then watch more movies that they did. I'm like, what?
Like
Yeah.
nerd.
Well, he was influenced by the German New Wave. Like, what? Yeah, no, it makes nothing.
It's like put your headset back on so I can swear at you while I'm trying to shoot you.
Yeah, get over here. I'm gonna shoot you in the head.
I do see every once in a while, like on Instagram, like something will pop up with like killer granny destroys everybody in Fortnite or whatever. I'm like, oh, I gotta click on that, and it's some lady who like used to be a legit sniper,
Oh,
and now
geez.
she's like a Fortnite
gamer
champion
person.
gamer,
Oh my god.
and it's all these like little boys just talking horrible to her and her just owning all of them
It's hilarious.
over and over again.
Like Call of Duty or something. And
Yeah, probably Call of Duty or whatever those World of Warcraft or something.
Okay. Yeah.
And she's just destroying them all and laughing. There's a couple of them that are like
sounds hilarious.
older grandparents who are just destroy
That's
these kids.
Hilarious. Good for
and
them.
they are the best about giving it to them verbally as well.
That's gotta suck to get owned by
Yeah,
an octogenarian on
yeah.
when you're like
I think they
10
like
years
it a
old.
little bit
Yeah.
when they find out that the people are actually 70, and then they're like, "Oh, this rules! This is awesome."
Because they're good at
These are
it. So it's
amazing.
like, okay, it's worth it.
I do feel like the one interesting thing about video games now that's different than when we were kids is when we were kids there were always levels, and then you always like if you got to the level you could get to the next level, but if you didn't get to the level and you died, there was always like 3 per people and then or 3 lives or whatever, and then you'd die and you'd have to go back to the start and you'd have to do it
Is
over
that not even
over.
a thing anymore?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I think
geez.
maybe there's got to be games where there kind of is, but now games are so like fluid. Like they just play, like you can just play forever. You're like, oh, I died. Oh, just respawn. Oh, you just respawn. Or even with Fortnite, it's the same world over and over again, and you get like dropped in different places, as far as I understand.
All right.
And then with different people. But you always know, like, oh, there's a case of guns over here. There's a whatever. and you're all trying to like race to these things, but you've all played, like you play the same world over and over again. Then you die, you watch everybody play, or you can leave and get into a new game or whatever. But
Yeah.
but
That's where
it's
I
not.
feel like I could get like weirdly, especially when I was a kid, maybe even now if I tried, but I could get like weirdly OCD on those like type of things where you're just like it's just it's the same thing every time. You got to run and hit this thing and jump at that thing. Like you just memorize the thing. You don't play the game with your eyes closed.
Yeah.
Where like the Super Mario Brothers speed run kind of
Yeah.
stuff. It's like after you do it, enough times, it's like, oh yeah, here's the whole thing. But I remember that happening, and that's kind of fun getting into that.
Yeah,
But again,
because you know where all the little things are, and
yeah, and how to do it the fastest, and here's the trick to get through the thing, and almost like optimizing it, just boom, 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 boom.
yeah,
But that's a lot. But that's even like almost closer to like memorizing like a guitar pattern or something, or like some kind of
yeah,
solo
right.
or lead or something. It's like you got to do it over and over again, kind of coordinate your two hands together.
You're just trying to get. I mean, that brings up what was that documentary that was out in maybe 2000 ish?
The King of Kong, the
King
King
of
of
Kong.
Kong. Yeah, I've never seen it. I wanted to see it.
Oh well, now you got to see it because you're
Okay.
doing Video Game Week.
Okay. Right.
I
Right.
mean,
Okay. Yeah.
it's amazing because it's obviously it's much more.
Okay.
It's
I'm gonna
not
put.
just about video. Like video games are the
I'm gonna put that on
theme,
my list to
but
watch.
it's the characters. It's unreal. It's unbelievable.
I know the
Amazing.
guy kind of got like in trouble because maybe he cheated or something. I've seen the peripheral
Oh,
stuff.
well, you just got to watch it.
Okay, all right, okay,
You
okay.
can't
I'm
give it
putting
away.
it. Let's go on the list of things to watch. Um, yeah, no, I saw the documentary. It was a great documentary about the ET video game, like the worst video game ever made. And they said they
Oh,
dumped him
right.
into like a pit, like into a landfill. That there was like a legend that there was just a landfill somewhere out there with like hundreds or thousands of the game cartridges,
Right.
and these documentarians actually go and dig like in like the New Mexico desert and find like the landfill where all of them were
They
dumped.
actually found it.
Yeah, and it's cool. It has the writer Ernest Cline who wrote Ready Player One. He's like there. He like shows up in his DeLorean to like help them search for it. He becomes a character in the documentary too.
Oh my god, that's
And
amazing.
yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, and I've heard a few other podcasts or I've watched a few other things just about like the birth of the Atari into then Chuck E. Cheese, and that kind of world of
Yeah.
stuff and how that whole thing sort of happened. And it's definitely fascinating. You know what I mean? Just already, yeah. Like there's so much like YouTube stuff out about just things in the 80s and 90s where like Super Mario Brother 2 was really originally like a different game, like Doki Doki Panic, and then
Really?
they needed a Super Mario 2 because Super Mario was such a big hit. They wanted a sequel, but they didn't have the time to actually develop it and write it and create it, so they just ported it. They just made it. They put Super Mario as the main character of this other game that had nothing to do with the first Super Mario, just so
I
they could
didn't
have
know
a new
that.
title out really fast. Yeah, so
Oh
again,
my
like
god, that's
I don't know
crazy. I
if this
love
has
it.
more to do with culture or just like being fascinated with like stuff from when your childhood is from the 80s and 90s. But that
But
was
I mean it
I'm drawn to all those stories. Like it sounds fun.
well, and it does though because it's video games are an interesting thing because they were created out of nothing in our lifetime. Like there were
Right, it's like
no.
new IP. It's
It's not
not
like
necessarily there
music.
was like
Like
these other
music
things
has
like
slowly evolved over thousands and thousands of years to become
mm,
what it's become now.
mm-hmm.
Whereas like video games were like, nope. When Pong started, Pong was the first video game, and that was the beginning of brand new thing that never existed before.
Right, a new media sense, but also, but I mean, like clearly that one it has a one-to-one, direct translation of the game of ping pong, which probably is traced back to hitting peasants' heads in the street or something in Peru or something,
Hopefully,
or whatever.
that sounds fun.
It's like soccer was like
How can we get that
the
going again?
Aztecs
Maybe.
kicking
Yeah.
brains around the
Yeah.
stadium, but so Pong, there's I guess that's the thought is like, yeah, it's a new invention, but also I think a basis in some form of storytelling or some form of something, but maybe not though. It is wholly inventive. Like what is
But I mean, like
it's
video, get like to be able to sit on like on a screen and have a thing that I'd be just a digital game. Like
an
digital
avatar? Yeah,
games
yeah,
didn't
exactly. Yeah,
really happened before that. Yeah.
This character on screen.
And so for that to just start from really not that much earlier than when I was born. I don't know when.
Right.
We could probably look up when Pong was invented. I'm going to guess. Let me see.
1975.
I was born in 75. I feel like I remember my mom having stories about it from before I was born. I'm going to say 1971. 1971. That's going to be my guess.
72.
Oh.
Yeah, you got closest without going over.
I'm only 3
Pong rules.
Years younger than Pong. So really, and I, remember my mom talking about, I remember when we got our first TV, and then we got a color TV, and it was just like so crazy, and thinking like, oh, there's nothing like that could ever happen in our lifetime.
Oh yeah.
But then when you look back, you're like, oh my God, video games, the internet, email, like all of those things are just like, where that just came from. I mean, you could obviously trace it back to the little minutia of like the little tiny things, but really the changes that we saw are like very specific. Like, here's when Atari came out, or here's the 1984 Apple ad, or here's the like these big, huge.
That's a really Scott
that was
directed.
Which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep thinking of the Frank Black song Pong. I think it was on his second record, Teenager of the Year. Do you know this song?
I don't know this song.
Pong. Ding, ding, ding. It's a good one. Those first 2 Frank Black records, to switch tangents, are really good. I was thinking about those the other day. Like, I wonder how many of those songs were written for Pixies songs, but then he just carried them over.
Did they sound enough like Pixies, or do you think that they were like?
I mean,
Kim was like, nope.
Maybe, but I mean, by the time
put him in
like Trompe de le Monde, I think is a very different Pixies sound. I think they had evolved in somewhat, into this kind of surfier sort of other band, even by that point, from Doolittle and Surfer Rosa.
Yeah.
So I think I could see the trajectory from Trompe de le Monde into then, into the first Frank Black stuff. And then, but that second one, though, was almost even better than the first one. I really like the first is just self-titled Frank Black. And the second one was really good. I don't know. I have to say those were good. It's an interesting thought about bands, and then the songwriter goes solo, like the next record after. Like, I really like the first Stephen Malkmus solo records.
Yeah.
Like Stephen Malkmus and the Jicks.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like those songs could have all just been another, like, after what was their last one? Spit on a Stranger. What was the title of it?
I don't remember.
Yeah. But it was, but yeah, it was really good. And you wonder, how much was just written. I feel like McCartney 1 was kind of the, like, could have been a Beatles record in so many ways.
Oh, definitely. Well, and the fact that he quit and was also recording those songs maybe before he quit in like a 8-track or a 4-track at his house. Most of that stuff. Right?
Was that when? Well, McCartney 2 was the 4 or the 8-track at the house. I think he went into a studio for all of the McCartney 1 stuff.
Which is the one with all the the fruits on the table.
Yeah, that's McCartney 1. The bowl of cherries.
Yeah, I think that one he did.
He started at his home. Maybe that could be. I don't know the whole story of it. But even like the back side, the end of side B is again like Abbey Road, where it's like kind of the suite of songs. It goes into that great like drum solo of him just breathing.
Yep. So good. So good.
It's a great.
And he played it. Didn't he play everything on that first record?
I don't know.
Like you did, maybe.
Yeah, it's a weird blind spot in my McCartney fandom. I like the record, but I didn't get as excited about that as I got excited about Ram, and then the first couple Wings records.
Yeah.
But again, so that, but yeah, you got to feel like they're writing songs. He's got songs, that could always be the next record. You never know.
And someone has to know in the band. They're like, this seems like it's on its way. I need to do my little. I need to throw the parachute. And I need to make sure I have a parachute.
Oh yeah, right. Let me make sure I have a whole record written before I quit the band. I break up the band, kind of
Dave
thing.
Grohl.
Oh right, yeah.
Like showing Kurt his little songs at the end of before Nirvana. Before the demise of Nirvana.
Just letting you know, man, I got a band too.
Yeah, I got these songs. Maybe you'd want to. Nah.
I'd rather shoot myself in the head. That's cool. Than listen to a Foo Fighters record.
Dave showed me those songs.
I knew there's no point living.
I knew this was over.
We'd seen the light. The future of music was Foo Fighters. I was there. I was no longer needed here. Time to go back to my home planet.
Oh my God.
It was even the Police, Sting. By the end was just bringing in the whole song. The demo was basically just the record, the song as it was recorded for the record.
Really?
He was writing it and then playing it or hiring people to play on it.
Yeah.
He's like, hey guys, here's the new song. I'm like, well, we don't like it. Well, too bad. It's already going to be a hit. It's all the other songs I've written have been hits. So
yeah,
go ahead and write your own hit and then put that one out. But here's what I'm doing.
You're telling me that didn't make Stuart Copeland happy?
Have you seen those interviews with Stuart Copeland talking about Sting? He still seems so upset and so hurt and has so much resentment to this day. Oh,
and he's had quite a career on his own, being like recording 3/4 of every score for 20 years of movies.
Well, one of my favorite pieces. Well, there's a couple of great pieces. The Stuart Copeland story, the theme song for the Star Wars cartoon Droids. Do you know this one? We gotta have an episode of just. Do you know this song? And then to see if we can actually play the song snippets. of the song.
You should be able to because we're on Spotify.
Right? Is that allowed? I have no idea.
I think I
told you you're not supposed to. Or you only short clips. We can always put it out and see what happens. I don't know if anybody who owns the rights to the Droids cartoon. I guess that's Disney.
That's interesting.
Would they come after you?
I always figured since it was just on Spotify anyway, you could just play songs.
Okay. Well, they're here retroactively. I'll drop snippets of those songs. How do I even record it? I can record it off the thing. I'll figure out how to do it. I'll put a snippet of it.
Stepping softly in a danger zone. No weapon in my hand. It's just this brain designed by man. Got me in trouble again. Trouble again. I put my life in jeopardy. In the surface of my brain. I wouldn't care, but it's a dangerous affair. 'Cause I'm in trouble again. Trouble again.
Put it on your phone like everyone else does who's stealing music.
Is that how that works?
Oh wait, don't say stealing music. They'll ding you.
We'll beat that.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's
Anyway,
some good songs. Yeah, no, it's a great song. It's a great theme song. It's a Stuart Copeland song that he wrote. But he had the band Clark Kent with a K, with 2 Ks, Clark Kent, before the Police. Because he was he was an American, drummer, an American musician working in England, and he came up with this kind of faux punk band called Clark Kent, where he played everything on it, and then had started rehearsing with Sting and Andy as the Police. But this, unbeknownst to him, I guess the way he tells the story is that Clark Kent had a hit. And he were asked to be on Top of the Pops, but there was no actual band, so he got Sting and Andy from the Police to wear masks. And played on Top of the Pops as Clark Kent.
I am the neatest thing that ever hit town. There isn't anything that could beat me down. Don't care if you really want to hang around. Don't care cause I am the neatest thing in town. Don't care if you really want to stick around. I don't care if you even want to put me down. The girls are always trying to settle me down. They never guess I'm only fooling around. My only worry is my humility. It damns all my heavy artillery. Don't care if you really want to hang around.
No way.
Because they're just miming it anyway. They don't actually play anything. So the police were on Top of the Pops before they even, recorded a single song.
As Clark Kent.
Yeah, as Clark Kent as his.
And that's very telling because Clark Kent was
the secret identity.
A mask.
Right.
The secret identity for Superman. So it was actually the secret identity.
It all meant to
police.
Be. But that song's good too, though. But it's a funny one where he kind of felt like it was like a fake punk record, or he was sort of just writing in the style of punk almost in a way, rather than really being from a community or like a proper sort of like. But by that point, I think it was already, punk had already sort of run its course. Sex Pistols had broken up. It was sort of the fad, culturally, sort of like go into the top of the pops anyway. It's like they're chasing it. But yeah, it's fascinating. But video games are cool.
I mean, listen.
Music's cool. Video games are cool. That's basically what I've learned. It's cool to be into music and video games, and a lot of people they play music like video games. So
I feel like they're very intertwined.
Yeah.
And I am going to do more video game research this week. Personally,
I'm expecting a lot of video game facts from you next week, and we could just have like a minute.
I know that facts. I'm paying like $15 a month or something for some Game Pass that supposedly has a ton of games on it. So I'm gonna load up my kid's Xbox with the Game Pass and see if I can find one that I like that is tolerable. FIFA.
Yeah, that's your challenge for next week. Find a video game that you can spend more than 5 minutes looking at.
I'll be like, Randy,
Randy,
I can't do the podcast this week. I can't stop playing.
I'm deep in the hole here.
I quit my job.
My last week before Christmas, I've just been going on a run, 48 hours straight, playing Candy Crush Saga. Did you know they released the King version? Oh God, it's all happening. This is really
I've been
exciting.
on live stream for 72 hours. I made $150,000.
They keep asking me to see my feet for some reason. I don't know why. I just put my feet up in front of the camera and just play video games, and I'm now a millionaire. I never would have expected this in my 50s. But yeah,
I'm barefoot 444. Come find me.
Hobbit Toes 69 on Twitch.
Oh jeez.
Come find me.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, no.
I'll just send you a photo of my gamer chair and you'll know it's all over.
No, we lost him. It was a joke. It all started as a joke. But I do
$700 headphones I got, Randy.
They're gifted to me by a fan.
I'm the top streamer on Twitch.
Put it on my Amazon wish list.
Yeah, I'm the worst player on Twitch. I have the most followers.
I don't know what's happening. I do have to admit though, I've been addicted to Simpsons Tapped Out for a number of years. This is like a weird like Sims kind of game where you like farm or like Farmville or some kind of game where you like create a town.
Oh, really?
And then you play a Simpsons character. Yeah, have you never seen this game?
No. Tapped Out, does that have I figured that was like the beer pouring game.
Right. No.
Or something.
So the storyline of it is Homer blows up the city of Springfield in a nuclear explosion.
Yeah.
And then so he has to rebuild it. And then you get houses, and then you get money on the houses, and then you buy another house, and you can release characters as you buy the thing, and you get donuts. You like one donut every day. And the donuts are like the premium things. You have to like spend donuts to get extra special things, and you get money. I've been playing this thing for years. It doesn't really feel like a video game. So I have to admit, before our first son was born, I was playing it on tour. It was like 2012, 2013. I was playing it, and then once he was a baby and he was here, my wife said, "You have to stop playing that game. This is insane. Yeah, this is insane. What are you doing? You have a baby now. You cannot play this game." I said, "Okay, you're probably right." And so I didn't play it for a number of years, and then he got into The Simpsons, and then he was playing. He's like on his like iPad playing games or looking for stuff. He's like, "Dad, there's a Simpsons video game. Did you know this?" I said, "Yes, I did. I did know that."
Funny, Simpsons, I put that on the iPad.
Simpsons video game, huh? I haven't heard that name for many years. So it's funny. You were the reason I could not play the game, and now you introduced the game back into my life. Yeah. Look how the circle.
You
is
are
complete.
My child.
The circle is now complete. Would you like to play Tapped Out with me? And so he got over it in about 2 weeks, and I think it's been about 2 years that I've been playing it every day. and I've amassed. I've officially I've gotten everything, but it's being sunsetted. It's being they're like turning it off basically this year because I think it just makes millions of dollars a year for this Simpsons franchise, which already makes billions of dollars a year.
Yeah,
and so I don't know why they're stopping it. But it must have something to do with Disney taking over. Maybe Disney's going to do their own thing once they bought Fox and all of that stuff. So they didn't want any other third party people like making. Because I'm sure it's just a developer that has a license for The Simpsons, and they just have this highly successful game going on. And
so you've been building your own world for all these years.
I've had this world going. This one, the one that I have now, is about 2 years old. I think the one I couldn't log back into whatever the one was that I had from 2012. I started fresh.
It's a ghost town now.
I guess so.
Do you think that really town is still out there somewhere on a server?
I would assume, right? Or no, maybe those things got deleted.
What if you got back into it and it was just like a total... It was just like mind-blowingly or just horrible. It was just like a wasteland, but it was still running. But it was like, nobody has been taking care of us for 10 years.
Thanks for coming back for us. You abandoned us when you had real children.
It's oh my god, like that. All the characters took over.
Yeah, but it was funny at the time though because again, we were touring and putting out a lot of records and things, and so I would go on Instagram and post screenshots of my town and hey, I'm on Simpsons Tapped Out, and if anybody else is wants to play. And so I had friend lists of people who were fans of the band at the time, and so I'd play it before shows or driving in the van or just on tour, and there'd be people hey, we're coming to see you next week in XYZ town or whatever it was. I'm awesome, cool, check out my town. And they'd go to your town or check this out. We'd have there was a weird kind of fan interaction.
Did No Age ever play in Simpsons Tapped Out?
I wish. I don't think that's an option.
You could have booked your own band in a bar.
Yes, that would have been
in
amazing.
an all-ages venue in Simpsons Tapped Out.
That was just a twinkle in the creator's eye. I don't think any bands had played inside of a video game in 2012 yet. But
just a couple.
But it was really fun. It was really fun at the time. I had a lot of fun doing
awesome.
it. Then I had to stop, and then it's been fun doing it now. But I think it's within days, or might even be tomorrow. I think it might be the 7th that they're stopping it.
You have to find the creator of Simpsons Tapped Out and interview them.
I would love that.
They've got to have there's got to be a name.
Somebody.
And that you take that name and you search Instagram. They have to have Instagram.
Who created Simpsons Tapped Out? And why
if they have more than 1,000 followers, it's probably them. And you just DM
I think it's just a giant corporation. I think there was
you'd probably be surprised.
You think there's one
guy named Gary.
Hey, Gary. You want to talk about Simpsons Tapped Out? Well, I have seen at the Simpsons Land at Universal Studios, they have a big billboard for the Simpsons Tapped Out. They've taken pictures of. Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah. It's been fun.
I feel like that's a research project.
Okay. All right. I have my homework.
I would love to hear.
You have to find a game on Xbox that you could stomach playing, and I'll research. I'll come back next week with who created Tapped Out.
All right, perfect.
Okay, perfect. We did it. Another perfectly good hour of our lives, and anyone who's listening to this life's wasted.
No mistakes.
That's in the true spirit of video games. We've done it. We've wasted an hour of our life, accomplished nothing.
Also, I did love the first 45 minutes of the podcast with Justin, of you guys just catching up and talking about kids, and I love it. I think it's great. I'm glad. I never know if that's interesting to people or not, but I totally have a sneaky feeling it kind of is. This is why I listen to podcasts, though, is because I just like hearing people talk. But me too. I'm into the weird thing is I was going to tell you that as I was listening to it, I noticed on the Hyphenate page, it has about the episode, and then below it says explore related episodes. Okay. And then there's one that just has a lady in a big yellow hat, and it says more about friendship. Oh. And you could click on that. And then there was another little thing, and it's a lady that looks maybe like a Kardashian. I don't know. And it says more about mental health. Oh. Isn't that weird? Somehow the AI scrubbed the episode and said, they're talking about friendship and mental health. This is the category this because podcast falls under. Because when I listen to it on my phone, it comes up all of it comes up you can just read it. All right. So the whole episode's a text. It's the whole episode can text. You could read. I'm sure you could read this episode we're doing right now.
These words have all been committed to text in one form or another.
Which means that you'll be able to click on related topics to whatever we've been talking about.
Oh, God.
Which hopefully we'll see. I should go back into our last one, which was, I think our David Pajo was a classic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm going to say our review of that was a classic. So I'm going to see
what's related to that.
This week
related content.
Our related content was to that one.
I love it. Yeah. It's great. All right. Everybody go follow Aaron Farley at Aaron Farley on Instagram. You can write us hyphenatehalftime@gmail.com. I'm Randy S. Randall at Yahoo. Make sure to like and subscribe. Give us 5 stars. Say what's up. Tell your friends. We are a independent podcast, so we need all your help. Tell everybody you know that, and let us know what you want to hear too. I'm not against being bribed. Feel free to bribe me.
Yeah, video games too.
Now accepting bribes. Yeah, if you have a cool video game, send it to me, and I will and send it with a check with some money. Attach a PayPal to it, and I'll play it. I'll give it a good review.
It live on our new Twitch stream that will be playing every hour that we're not on this podcast.
Frodo's feet pics. 420.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, perfect.
Also on chat roulette. All right, see you there.
There you go. And for cameos, make sure you find at Aaron Farley on cameos.
Oh my God, I would do a cameo.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that would be amazing. I was like, who?
Have you seen the Smokey Robin Chinooka one?
Yes.
I hope you have a great Chinooka, whatever that is. If you're celebrating Chinooka.
I'm like, Smokey, just stay. You don't have to be out there.
Oh,
you don't have to be out in the world.
I realized. Did you ever watch Atlanta? He's a lot like the character Teddy, like the weird, mysterious person. That voice. Hi, hey, this is Smokey Robinson. I hope you have a great Chinooka.
Oh my God.
He kind of even looked like, it was just like all the plastic surgery he's had.
Yeah.
I thought Teddy was more like a Michael Jackson thing, but I feel like it's kind of a cross between Michael Jackson and Smokey.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that that's another research project for us.
Well, are you familiar with the conspiracy that Michael Jackson is still alive and all of the videos online? I follow this great Instagram account that's like Michael Jackson is still alive or something. One of these things. They post great videos or these reels with all the evidence that shows that he is actually alive. And there's like weird people like wearing masks and things that they're like, obviously this large man with no nose and oversized clothes and a bald head is Michael Jackson in disguise at his children's birthday party.
Yeah, because that's what he would be doing for sure.
But then they show photos of him when he was like doing weird makeup tests where he looks kind of just like that guy. It looks like large, bald,
really?
Jewish guy with glasses on and everything. You're like, oh, wow.
Well, I do know that he was famous for like using the Hollywood makeup people to make him into a completely different person so he could just go out and
live
be
life
in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
in. Michael Jackson's alive.
There we go. Yep. Aliens are here. No one cares. Michael Jackson's here.
Maybe he's flying the drones.
Cares. There it is. Yep.
Michael Jackson drone pilot. Next on.
Just Google that. For more relatable content, look for the Michael Jackson drone pilot.
Michael Jackson drones over New Jersey.
There it is. Oh, that sounds like a Minutemen song. There we go.
Michael Jackson drones or a new band.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Perfect.
Put it out there.
There's a band name for you. Michael Jackson's Drones Over New Jersey. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye.